should I get my paint protection film done at the dealership, or should I take delivery of my car and then go get it done afterwards? We're gonna show you what we think. So before we get started, I'm going to acknowledge we are absolutely biased on this. We are, of course, a paint protection film window tint shop. We don't want you to get it done at the dealership unless that dealership is using us, but there's a variety of things that you really should consider if you're going to have your paint protection film done at the dealership. So this Porsche 992 behind us, we're gonna use this car as the example. This was purchased recently at a Porsche dealership near one of our stores, and the customer decided to bring it to us afterwards instead of getting the paint protection film they offered at the dealership. And it got me thinking, this is a question that's going to be coming up in everybody's mind when they're buying a new car. Now, the advantages, you get to finance it in, and it's done when you go pick up the car. Those two things are really, really cool. Some of the disadvantages though, recently we had a car in here at one of our stores that was done at a Porsche dealership, and things like around the gas cap, they used just the standard pattern. They didn't wrap the edge up here or by the hood. There was a cutout around the headlight, whereas we wrap inside of there. They were even so lazy as to not pull the Porsche badge off. For those of you that don't know, that badge comes off with two 8mm nuts. It takes seconds, and when you do that, you can eliminate the line around the badge. Now, not that big of a deal on the surface because XPEL's got great patterns and they have great cutouts around things like that, but if it can be removed simply, you should do it, especially on a light colored car like this, and the one that we saw was on a Porsche Taycan, and it was light colored as well. What will happen is those edges will eventually accumulate dirt, or it will at least be harder to keep clean. If you can eliminate that edge, then you don't have to worry about that problem in that area. So before you throw stones at me and say I'm saying all dealerships are bad, I'm not saying that. I am saying that a shop like ours that is more of a boutique style, we have technicians that have been doing this for years. They're very, very dedicated to their craft. Every person here is specialized in something. The paint protection film guy does paint protection film. The window tinter does window tint. We're not pulling the detail guy out of the back corner and asking him to put some paint protection film on this car because we're behind schedule today, which is things like that do happen at a dealership. If a dealership does happen to sub their work out to a shop like ours, and there are many of them that do, and there's many high quality shops that service dealerships, but I'll ask you this question. If the dealership has to make money on, say, a full wrap, so if they're charging $8,000 for this full wrap on this car, number one, you're going to be paying them more than you would be paying the shop. But number two, the dealership wants a heavy discount on that from the shop. And it makes sense because they're sending a lot of volume and things like that. But I question this. If you have two retail customers paying full price and one that's heavily discounted and you need to get them all done in that week, which one do you think you're gonna cut the corners on? I'm not saying that they do. Maybe that never, ever, ever happens. I'm just saying that my brain goes to, if you're the business owner, you have to prioritize what makes sense. The one that's getting a discount is very possibly not going to get the highest quality that you can offer. Here at Blackout, we wanna make sure that we give you the best quality every time. And if there's something you're not happy with, we always stand behind our work. This particular car is a great example. I mentioned a couple things already around the Porsche crest, around the fuel door, but we also wrap in all of these wheel wells around this quarter window all the way up. All of that stuff is wrapped. There's no edge. Sometimes you'll see a seam here because people don't want to take the mirror off. In this case, we actually did not remove the mirror, but we still don't have a seam. We've got some ways we can do that. So our goal is to always put out the best quality product, be proud of our work, and do it better today than we did it yesterday. So the next time a 992 comes in, we're going to be looking at little ways we can get better every single time. So just be careful, do your research, find out who is doing the installation if you're going to be doing it through the dealership. And if they're experienced and they're not putting their new guy on it because they're doing it at a discounted rate, all of that kind of stuff is important. Make sure you ask to see some of the work before you pull the trigger. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And if you like this video and want to learn more about paint protection film, check it out right here. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, we would appreciate it if you do that. We'll see you on the next video.